All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. That's the Great Z.
Get ready to be cold, people. Get ready to be cold.
We've been cold, brother.
No, we're talking about a once-in-a-lifetime event. I feel like we're getting ready for the ice version of The Perfect Storm, which was one of the great trailers of all time.
It really was.
It's The Perfect Storm. And
Do you
that's
think
what we're headed for.
Was that a
this
phrase
weekend.
that was used before that movie?
I don't believe so. I'd never heard it before that.
I think you're right. And then it became something that's used very common in sports.
Yeah.
Perfect storm of events.
Oh,
like
for
you
sure.
hear that
Yeah.
constantly in sports dialogue. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I think that is that title of that movie put that into the lexicon.
Absolutely.
And then away we go.
And then away we
so
go.
the one that's going to be tough is going to be Friday into Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that where it's really going to
Saturday,
get dicey?
-6.
I'm
told.
I'm showing on the AccuWeather, I am showing a Friday high of 17 and a low of -4.
Yeah.
So that must be Friday night is going to be just brutal.
Yeah.
Afternoon into the night. And then Saturday warming up to 8. Which
a
will
low
be
of what?
Lovely. 5. Really nice. And then
That's better.
Your
It was
feel like
-6.
Your feel like on that is going to be, probably a negative. Yeah, -4 on the feels like on that.
Oh, baby.
Frigid. Real feel of -15 on Friday night.
How about it?
Baby.
How about it?
Come
How
on.
about it? Come on.
All right.
Listen.
You want to know?
And we're not going to have a coach to keep you warm because that can't happen until next week.
No, that's it. There's not much you can do on that. The historical averages for this time of year are 36 as your high.
Yeah.
Which feels like what normal would be, with a low of 22. So right now our highs aren't even getting to our average lows.
No, this is
last year on this date we were 26 with a low of 16.
Yeah, this is not cool, dude.
It's not cool. The record was 68 degrees in 1967.
Sounds great.
17 below in 63. So there you go.
I'd be golfing.
Plus, keep your eye on a potential snowstorm coming.
When's that coming, Kev?
I think I've seen Sunday, Saturday night, Sunday, but it all
after
depends
the
on if
super
it actually
frigid.
if it actually goes this far north or not.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to deal with it. We're going to do the best we can. And to Dr. Z's point, we will not have a coach operation done this week. That'll be next week at the earliest. In terms of the reasons for all of that, Mike McDaniel withdrew his name from consideration for the Browns head coaching job. He also withdrew consideration from the Ravens coaching job and others, or maybe perhaps coordinator job, who knows. Then has accepted position to become the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. McDaniel is reportedly scheduled to interview in person for the job today. That's obviously not going to happen. So the reason that we're talking about a delay in the search, at the very minimum, is the Browns will now have to find a second external minority candidate to interview in person for the position to satisfy the Rooney Rule. Nathan Schillhouse will be the first. As soon as he is coming, that will be this Monday, January 26th. So that gives you your timeline on that.
Nate Schillhouse will be the first. They would need a second, or if they hired Schillhouse on Monday, I think that's it. That is it.
Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah.
Do you suppose that there is? I mean, I know that I assume there's been some back channeling, right? I mean, you're not supposed to, but what is kind of the rules on all of that? Is there some way to say, hey, man, are you interested in this? Is this something you're interested in?
Well, I think they've talked to him once virtually, so I think you would have a sense
there's
coming
some
out
interest.
of that, this is a real interest for me, and vice versa. And then they can't interview him in person until Monday the 26th.
Right. And then the other thing that is,
and so for the Browns, for the Rooney Rule, if they did not hire Schillhouse, would need to have another minority candidate interviewed in person before they could make a hire.
Right. So that's the way. And so from Mike McDaniel's standpoint, if he was interviewing for some places for head coaching jobs, including here, he was interviewing some places as offensive for coordinator jobs like Tampa, and it sounded like Philly talked to him as well.
Yep.
And he ends up in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Certainly working with that quarterback and that climate and all the things that come with that, very, very positive. Being a head coach is very positive too. I am very curious to see how he works with Jim Harbaugh. I think that's a fascinating
Yeah,
personality.
I would have liked to see their interviews.
Yeah.
Very different personalities. But you know what? At the end of the day, Kyle is very rigid and demanding, so he can work in great structure.
I don't think it's that with Jim. I think Jim's just real different.
Well, yeah, he's
Just
quite
different
unique.
cat.
Yes.
You know, like he's a different guy, man.
Yeah.
And he's got real interesting quirks and things that he gets hung up on. And
I think it's
I
gonna
just
be
think that's
fascinating.
going to be really fascinating. Like if I could pick one team right now for Hard Knocks, and it was the real Hard Knocks, it would be the Chargers.
absolutely.
And it would be those two and the interactions with them and Herbert and all of it. This is from the Chargers' perspective. This is an unbelievable coup for Justin Herbert. I mean, a stunning coup.
And O'Marion Hampton,
Yeah.
everybody on that offense. I mean, and I'm sure have you seen all the clips that are going around about McDaniel now where he's talking, he was in like a restaurant talking about offensive game planning. And then there's the one on the sideline where he's like, I know this is going to be a bomb touchdown to Waddle. And then it is. If he's like, we get this look, he's like, oh, they gave us a look. He's like, it's going to be a touchdown. He's like, one play drive. One where he fakes Max Crosby out and gets him to jump off sides. And he's like, we weren't even running a play, Max. We weren't even running a play.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. I really enjoyed my time when I knew him here. I've stayed in touch with him. Like I talked to him before every time when he was with the Niners or with the Dolphins that we played them. He is an elite offensive coach, and that should be great for them. I mean, he's going to take Greg Roman, I think, obviously has had some success, thinking about the 49ers with Kaepernick and then obviously with Lamar, but then Lamar elevated with Monken, with Todd Monken. He's going to be great for them, and I think he loves to use the running back. I think it's going to be great for O'Marion Hampton, who was their first-round pick. I think it's going to be awesome for Herbert. I think he's going to scheme some stuff up. It would not surprise me to see them try to bring some speed into their wide receiver room, whether it be in free agency or a trade for, like, I would imagine a guy like DJ Moore is going to be available.
Yeah.
I think that's a great hire by them. And it's interesting. The reality is, and I think that whoever ultimately was responsible for this decision in Detroit will regret it. He would have been perfect in Detroit. They literally have the exact blueprint of what he would want on a team with Gibbs as the A-chan, with, you've got Jamison Williams as Tyreek Hill. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's not Waddle. He's not as fast, but he's better. And he's better. Yeah. And then you have Sam Laporta. Like, they have everything that he would have wanted to operate, and Goff would operate it beautifully. That's a big mistake. That's who should have hired him. And I do think it's interesting, though, that he was supposed to go to the Ravens and all these. People are, he didn't want to interview with the Ravens. No, he withdrew from the Ravens job.
Yeah.
He wanted to go. I think some people are maybe more comfortable as an OC, and I also could see him saying, you know what? If I go down there and do what I believe I'm capable of doing, he's going to have a lot of options coming out of that.
I think it's a little bit of I do wonder if it's a little bit of the Vrabel thing where sit a year out, gain some perspective, get smarter, observe. There's a lot of things you can be critical of Jim Harbaugh for. You cannot be critical of his leadership. People follow him.
And that's what he needs to work on.
And that's what he needs to work on. Harbaugh has, for his team, he doesn't have much accountability to people that are above him, but in terms of to his team and the way he holds teams accountable, we've seen that from Stanford to the 49ers to Michigan and now back to Los Angeles. Like there's and that was viewed as Mike's weakness. We had Armando Salguero on last week and he talked about that, about that weakness. Well, that's something that he can pick up firsthand from Harbaugh and get it sorted. And if he wants to get back into this thing in a year or two, there's going to be a ton of options. There were 10 openings this year. To your point, you said earlier yesterday, there were 10 openings in 2022. There's always going to be jobs for really smart offensive people.
Yes, that is correct, and I think he'll be excellent there. One thing I want to ask as a Nathan, Nate, a college football Nate. I want to know what Chilhouse prefers because he's listed. I see more Nate than Nathan, but he's listed as Nate and Nathan all over the place.
Why are you a Nathan, not a Nate?
As I got older, I felt Nathan felt more like adult. Nate was felt childlike.
Okay.
To me.
As a kid, were you Nathan or Nate?
Nate.
Did your parents call you Nathan or Nate?
Yeah, my dad called me Nate or Nateski.
Nateski. And it's funny, my cousin who I looked up to only my whole life, his name was Nathan. We always call him Skate.
Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, so it was Nateski, and then obviously, regulators. I was Nate
Yeah,
Dogg.
Nate Dogg.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Nathan
As you got older, you graduated to Nathan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I never know that. Like you don't see there's not a whole lot of people named Richard anymore.
No, right.
You don't see those anymore.
And that nickname is certainly not one that.
Not anymore. But there were a great many.
Duran. I haven't
No,
heard
I
that.
think that's it. It's been a long time. Our dad's generation, though, those were a dime a
tons
dozen.
of them.
Yeah, a lot of Richards running around.
Zago's best friend was Dick Diebold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very common. So yeah, that'd be
Where did
interesting.
that come from Richard, though? How did we get there?
I don't know. How did Bobby?
Was- what
how
about-
does Robert go
Was
to
Richard
Bobby?
Winters? Was Richard Winters? Was he a Richard Winters?
He was, but he was Dick Winters.
Yeah, that's right. One of the great
Legends.
moments in this program's history.
That was unbelievable, and the
setup for it
setup
is
for
just
that
as
was
good.
unbelievable, and
Hiding food.
Yeah, that's right. Good Lord, it's a different time.
Yeah. A little more
different time.
carefree.
A lot less, a lot of joy.
Yeah.
Robert Bob has always got me.
Yeah.
How does Robert become Bob? I don't ever understood that.
I just feel like maybe it was like Robert was written, and then they wrote Rob, and it was just like, oh, Bob. Like I feel like that to me, that's how that happened.
Yeah, because there's Bobby. Like kids, there's kids I knew growing up. Bobby.
But I knew lots of actual Bobbies.
I did. That's what I'm saying.
Like
I knew.
is Bobby Bonilla Robert Bonilla? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I
He's
think
getting
he
$1
was
million soon.
he's still in July, but I think he's always Bobby.
Yeah,
So
Bobby
yeah,
Bonilla.
I don't know. I don't know where those.
Bobby Bonds.
What was the reason to shorten some of those?
Guys, I'm seeing from medieval English times this was done, where they would shorten the names and then they had fun. There was like a fad to rhyme those shortened names. So, of course, Richard to Rick, then you would rhyme. Hick was also a name for Richard to rhyme with the shortened verb.
Yeah, King
version
Richard was
of
never
Richard.
referred to as.
King Dick?
Yeah. that's
No,
right.
I don't think so.
You said it.
John to Jack? That one never made any sense.
No.
John F. Kennedy, Jack Kennedy? They're both 4 letters.
I don't get it.
What are we doing?
If you're going monosyllabic to monosyllabic, why are we
What's the
changing
point?
anything?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter reportedly going to be in the building tomorrow, and then Jaguars offensive coordinator Grant Yadinsky will reportedly be here on Friday. So there you go on that. We continue to rack up the honors. Carson Swessinger, earlier in the week, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Myles Garrett from the Pro Football Writers Association is your Defensive Player of the Year, and he'll pick up the AP honor, I would assume,
For sure.
in short order.
If the AP is the gold standard, why are we having these other things? And why are they not the gold standards?
Yeah, I wonder
First team, it's always AP, first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro, it's always AP.
what makes the Associated Press a more viable, valuable award than the Pro Football Writers.
Yeah, like when they cite somebody's
always
accomplishments,
AP.
it's always the AP. AP MVP, AP, it's all of it. It's always the AP.
Sometimes I wonder if we're just preconditioned to that. I mean, it's kind of like in college football. Like nobody puts much onus before we got to all of that. All of it was on the AP poll. Like everyone looked at the AP poll.
course.
Like the coaches poll, there was a UPI poll in the old days, but the coaches poll is, and they're coaches.
Yeah.
But it's the 66 AP. That's the one that's got the juice to it. So I don't know
Well,
if we're just conditioned. The AP has been around longer, so it matters more. I don't know.
Like Kyle Brandt was saying he has an MVP vote this year, which on Good Morning Football he said that a few times, which
So he's got an AP vote?
that's what
Well, he might. The AP used to be all newspapers and guys covering teams. I've been an AP college football writer before, or poller for AP, the top 25, and you had to have a certain amount of people in every region. So they had to have people represented in each region. So the years that I did it, I was the Tallahassee representative of the AP college football poll. I was one of the 66.
All right, so now the NFL MVP voters are a select group of 50 sports journalists and broadcasters chosen by the AP, representing various media outlets like ESPN, CBS, USA Today, The Athletic, SiriusXM, and Fox Sports, who cast ranked ballots for the NFL's regular season MVP award each year, with results being announced at the award show prior to the Super Bowl.
I mean, you would have had to adapt.
Yep.
Because there isn't,
So 50.
Yeah. That's a pretty tight group,
Yeah. I do know. You're exactly right. By the way, there have been let me see if we get in this. I have a question here. So I'm going to Did you read this opening? Was I not listening when you read this? Did you read this part? Have you done that yet?
I have not.
Okay, good. So I didn't miss that.
No.
Okay. I have questions about it.
All right, go ahead.
Day 17. After today, we will be through 14.2% through the 120-day process.
Okay.
To give some perspective, if the 120-day plan were an NBA game, we'd be about 7 minutes into the first quarter. If the 120-day plan were an NHL game, we'd be about roughly 8.5 minutes into the first period.
Okay.
If the 120-day plan were a calendar year, it would be late in the evening of February 20th. So
that doesn't seem to add up to me, that one.
So I guess you're saying that February 20th is 14% of the year? That's where that's coming from? It feels like it would be January 17th. I get what you're saying from a percentage standpoint. I do get that, but to me, if we're on day 17 of something on a calendar that's measured in days, we're on the 17th day of
We're on the
year.
17th day of the year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
But I get what he's saying. I get what you're saying, Gabriel.
He's saying the percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 14% of the year
percent
is
of the year
February
would be
20th.
February 20th.
Late in the evening, which is the specificity there from young Gabriel is tremendous.
Really quite lovely.
So
on that part
I have a question for you.
I'll have an answer for you.
Let me just make sure that I'm not stealing any thunder in here.
Are you going
Amazingly, it's not in here.
Are you talking about our two ex-girlfriends fighting?
Well, there's that. And now the Hoff has intervened.
Well, and our current wife. So our two ex-girlfriends, and now our current wife is Hoff's our wife, and now he's involved.
He is what a man.
He's cherished.
He's cherished.
Yeah,
He's on
cherished.
a pedestal.
That's right. And
That's
now
right.
he's involved.
And now he's involved in that fracas. So there's that.
Will
that fracas.
Six respond to Hoff?
Unfettered, 100%. I don't know
Well,
if
who's
he's been,
fettering
I
him?
don't know if he's been fed. I don't know if after the first one, if they're like
Who's coming in to say don't?
somebody from the Bucks, I would imagine, or somebody that he
Yeah,
holds
but
in
would
very
the
high
Bucks care
esteem.
if he came at Hoff?
I don't. It's just I think he had posted a video right before saying that he was blocking out all the noise and just focusing on football. Like
Well, you're part of the noise. You created the noise, dog.
I did.
Not you.
Oh.
Six.
Yeah, of course.
By the way, and then we got our other guy, D. Orlando, who's our guy.
D. Orlando.
D. Orlando's in the mix.
Caught in the well, what's interesting about that is it's not like he tagged Baker, so that was obviously brought to his attention. He's responded. Hoff has now said, "Well, phones work both ways." A factual statement there. The whole thing is just wild because if you go back to that time, things were contentious in both directions. He had wanted a trade. It was all bad. It wasn't thrown out like garbage. It was
No, but this is a guy.
It was an all bad situation. I don't think there was a lot of. That was a relationship that had soured.
Bake is Arya Stark.
Yes, he's got the list.
He's got a list, and you're not going to get your name crossed off this list until and the difference being that unlike Arya Stark, if there isn't a slight, he will find one that he can make one.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And that, I mean, he did that at Texas Tech.
Of course.
He did that his whole life.
part of
Like,
what makes him
got to Oklahoma and he did it.
Bake.
Like he held great. He always hated the University of Texas because they didn't offer him, and he went to Texas Tech as a walk-on, played well, but he never had at Oklahoma. Oklahoma didn't offer him either. And Oklahoma, when he got there and transferred, Bob Stoops was like, "Yeah, you can walk on. We're giving you a Scully." And then the cool thing about him is he earned all of it.
Yep.
But he loves a Spite store.
Oh yeah.
He thrives in a
Mocha
Spite
Joe's.
store. He's got the beans, Larry. Like he wants to live in that world, man.
Yeah. Latte
Loves
Larry.
it. He's looking for it. So
clearly.
This is right up his playbook
Let me
to
tell
look
you
for
something.
something.
Number
like
one,
this.
I love it.
It's fun. I think
It's
fun.
fun. It's going to make. I think now I'm envisioning right now Monday night opening week.
I think you nailed it. It'll either be
Bucks Falcons.
It'll be the Monday night. If they do the doubleheader, it'll be the 7:00.
Yeah, the prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, it'd
and
be
that's
fun.
gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I like that. It's sad to me that obviously we've been over it so many times that it didn't work out. I think there were a lot of things that needed to happen, and Bake has reached, new heights. Obviously a little bit of a down year this year as they didn't win the division, but he'd won the division 2 years prior, and has played some pretty darn good football. I like it, though. It gives that a little juice. Gives you a little – and when's the last time we had a good old-fashioned NFC South rivalry?
No. Yeah. I mean, it's
And Kevin's going into Atlanta today, walking in, dropping F-bombs.
Oh, is he? I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
Was he?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm telling you.
It's a new day.
It's a new day.
He was walking in. He goes, "Can I curse? Let's blank and go."
Let's bling and go.
Good for
him
him.
and Matty Ice walking in there, a couple of Pennsylvania boys
Yeah.
ready to roll. So, yeah, I like it. I think it brings a little bit of juice. Do you think he responds to the Huff? Maybe they do a podcast. The Huff's a good podcast guest.
He likes that, and
he'll go on there.
He'll go on there, and he's not afraid. I mean, did that with John. So, I don't think he will.
No, I
think he'll let it die and understand not to punch above your weight a little bit. Like, he's usually pretty smart about that. So, I think he will do that. That he'll let it go. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, we were all here for that and lived through it, and we've talked about it a bunch.
It was a perfect storm of not great events that
good
led
for you
to
bringing Perfect Storm back.
Thank you. That led to a divorce being necessary. Unfortunately, I mean, people. It's almost like you forgot that he had requested a trade right before that.
Well, that I mean, just chronologically, I'm trying to remember the events of all of that.
He requested a trade.
No. But if you go even back to the season,
to the season,
it all flipped. That season started to go south.
Yes.
Odell's
Week
dad, uncle,
4,
whoever it is,
week
puts the
4,
video up.
That's week 4, Minnesota.
Yeah.
And you go back. There was a training camp comment about Duke Johnson.
Yep.
Week 4, Odell, and then Odell's gone.
Yeah.
Locker room split.
Yep.
He's hurt.
Yep.
He plays through it. Then there was the game in Pittsburgh where he got sacked 9 times.
Yep.
We did not give James Hudson adequate help against T.J. Watt in that game.
Yeah.
That led to some incendiary remarks.
Yes.
Then he did not participate the rest of the year. There's only 1 game left.
Mm-hmm.
Had his surgery. I think after that he requests a trade. Then he unrequests the trade. Because it seemed like he was gone. Then all of a sudden, no, he wasn't gone.
Yeah.
Then he is gone, and in comes Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And then the opener that year was us in Carolina. Cade York 58-yard field goal.
God bless Cade York.
That's why you draft a kicker.
True. That is.
And then Carolina released Rams.
Renaissance, yeah.
The game against the Raiders, I want to say it was. Was it either a Monday night or a Thursday night?
It was a Thursday night
after
because
just getting
Allen
there.
and Herb Street were on the call.
Yep. And wins that one with the 90-yard comeback drive. Mm-hmm. Gets his career back, goes to Tampa. They brought in on a very small contract to compete with Kyle Trask.
It was a bucket of balls, and they really wanted Trask to win the job.
Beats him out, and then leads them to the playoffs back-to-back years. Throws for a ton of yards, ton of touchdowns, all of it. It's had a nice 3-year period. And now, Tampa's in an interesting spot with him. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be fun to play out. And I like Drum. And I like that. That's another thing. Like, good, bad, and different. I like that Bake is Bake. I think he would, by his own admission, he has matured and he's been able to channel these things in a very positive way. And he's played his best football the last couple of years outside of that stretch in 2020 when he was brilliant from week 7 on, which I think was 20 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah, we said that all the time.
Yeah. He's played his best ball down there in Tampa. And, I like that he still is carrying that. It's a little... You got to get to a certain – he's not on the level of Michael Jordan, but it's Michael Jordan-esque.
I think this is who he is, and I think when he's not doing this, he has to work really hard not to.
Yeah.
I always said this about him, and some people out there take this as a slight. It's not meant to be. He's the greatest front runner I've ever been around.
Oh, yeah.
When
great.
things are going good and he's in the middle of it, he just lifts everybody up, and it's the best time. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But when it goes bad, it goes bad.
Not as fun.
Bigly. And that's something that obviously we lived through. We lived through the incredible highs, and we lived through the lows. And it's interesting. Like I just pulled up like his time in Tampa. He's basically 24. The 2024 season. That's the anomaly, because the other 2 seasons he's 64% completions. First year he's 4,000 yards, 28 and 10. You'd take that. This year he was 63%, 36, 93, 26 and 11, which basically mirrors what his production was here in his best year in 2020 when he was 63%, 35, 63, 26 and 8. Yeah. It's almost a mirror season. Like that's who he is.
Yeah.
That's who he is. So you can win with that. He for sure, but there is a ceiling on it in terms of how much you can win.
Right. It seems that way. Yes.
And so he's really fun to have on your team. There's a gunslinger mentality to it, but there's obviously a concrete ceiling on how much success you can have when you turn the ball over as much as he has.
Fair.
And his completion percentage is what it is. Like the 71% last year, that's the outlier.
Yeah.
Everything else is in the 63, 62 area.
Yeah, but he can make. He was at the beginning of the year. It was like 5 straight comebacks. It was nuts. I do like that. You and I have talked about this a long time, and the only person I've ever heard use the word pal in a kind way. You do it sometimes, but it was really the Great Cole. The Great Cole will throw a pal out there, and I feel like he means it. Like, you're my pal. Like, I love you.
I mean it absolutely. Mine comes originally from the classic 80s Western Young Guns.
Sure.
Where the inscription "Pals" was carved on Billy the Kid's tombstone. So I always use "pal" as a great affection.
Yeah.
And then it was used in Wall Street. And I thought it was great in Wall Street when he would always say, "Hey, buddy boy, pal." Like, I thought all that was great. So that's where pal comes from for me.
Yeah, Cole uses pal in a very genuine way.
Yeah.
I had heard, growing up, my papa, my mom's father, pal was
not
no good. No, pal was an insult, and it was used absolutely right here.
He used it
as a complete. As I understand, I thought it was a great use of pal. Might have want to throw a comma after reach in there, but he commas it perfectly on the end. Can't wait to see it twice a year, comma coach, perfect. But the failed is quite the reach, pal. And it is. He didn't fail.
No.
At all.
No.
That is, I agree with him right there. That is a reach. And the pal, the Orlando's a fine man. To pal him like that, though, whew.
I also think if you're going to use a comma in part of your tweet, it has to be an all.
Yeah,
I'm an all or nothing guy.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times I just forget all punctuation in Twitter because I just go with it.
Sometimes
a couple of
you go
ellipses, dot, more, fine.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're going to throw a comma in, then you have to have it all properly.
The second one's perfect.
Yeah, you need one in the first.
I will say the pal almost could have capitalized it, gone in all caps, pal.
This would have been a good pal.
Yeah. This is a good pal. This is one of the better uses of pal that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's fun. These are, all of us like Bake and all of us like Stefanski. So, I speak for you and I.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to see them have a little, like, extra juice in those games. There was definitely juice. I could tell you, Gibbe remembers, there was some juice in Carolina that day.
Well,
it's your debut in the booth.
Yeah, it was. And my was added to the theme song from Titanic when people would do that field goal.
But I can remember, like, we got into town Saturday night.
Yeah.
You went out to dinner, like, we went to Fahrenheit downtown.
Yep, we sure did.
Went to Rocco's place. And, like,
of course,
the city was ready. There were a ton of Browns fans.
Oh, yeah.
There were a ton of Baker Bros.
Oh, yeah.
There were, like, it was, man, we really got to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of importance to it. The thing that was I always thought was really remarkable about Bake is how he could, and I think this is part of it, like, he looks for these slights and stuff in life, and I think it served him very, very well. The idea that he could somehow still paint himself as like an underdog or nobody believed in him. He won the Heisman by one of the biggest margins ever. He's one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. He went number 1.
Yep.
He's not Purdy overcoming all the odds. He went number 1 overall.
Yep.
Like, and yet he could do that. He could turn it into. He thrived off of that stuff. Like some people do. Some people need it. Durant needs it. Like he needs slights, like looking for slights anywhere he can find them. Burners, yeah. So yeah, I think it served him well in his career. So I get it, and it's fun. I hope more of it can come.
So we also have that, and then we also have today, which we can talk about after this break. One of the more interesting, scrutinized, and potentially damaging press conferences we have seen in a long time. In fact, that we could go almost line for line in our interview with the Notorious yesterday that contradicted everything that he had said to us. And I know what he was saying to us because I know it from him and a great many others.
Yeah.
Was spot on. And they went up there and put on a display of burying Sean McDermott and lying about a great many things in a very short period of time.
All right, we'll break that down in part of what we're going to get into. So what we're referring to is Terry Pagula press conference. Brandon Beane is there in Buffalo today. It is wild.
Honestly, I think we could just play it and react react.
It's absolutely crazy. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. We will get into all of that. We will also get into a little mock draft and some notable stuff in regard to that coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, so we were discussing this press conference in Buffalo today. Terry Pagula, owner of the Buffalo Bills, and Brandon Beane, who's the general manager over there in Buffalo. We had the notorious one on yesterday to kind of break all of those things down. This was a crazy presser. I think what we're about to play is the most crazy.
Wild, yes.
Yeah, there's
This
a
is
couple little bits from the today and actually from the past that caught up with Brandon Beane. So the first one, Keon Coleman, the wide receiver for the Bills, was brought up in question today as to who exactly wanted him. And the Bills owner stepping into this conversation.
Yeah,
Can I interrupt? I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff. who felt strongly about the player. He's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it, but I'm here to tell you the true story.
Maybe not so fast, my friend. Let's go back to the NFL Combine that year when Keon Coleman was drafted. And this from the GM.
Hold on, real quick. Do you also have the other one where he's talking about the night before the second round because he was the first pick of the second round?
I don't have that.
Okay,
right
I
You
can add that.
summarize that. Go ahead.
Kev, go ahead.
Big surprises, did you? Yes.
I'm glad he ran that. Help you get him.
Mid 4.5s.
4.54.
So that is Brandon Beane talking about Keon Coleman who run 4.57 at the combine.
Yep.
And him saying, I'm glad he ran that. Now we can get him.
Yeah, that's going to help us get him. And then the one, they have video that must have been Bill's produced video of him talking about the night after the first round ended up going in the second round where they had the first pick and Keon Coleman was that pick. That he said, I'm so excited we're going to sleep knowing we're getting Keon Coleman unless somebody blows our socks off.
Yeah.
And he said, nobody blew our socks off, so we said, let's go get our guy, Keon Coleman.
One other
And
part
in
of
the
this,
draft room, he's like excited about it.
there's one other little layer to this, and that's the fact that if you're curious, Keon Coleman is still on the Buffalo Bills.
Well,
That's right.
my number one note. So Keon
I mean,
Coleman
they don't
has
really
been
throw
like,
to him.
Keon Coleman has been body bagged, and people are trying to
I mean, like,
throw blame for his selection on people who are no longer there.
and he's still there.
Now, supposedly he's clarified and said he didn't mean Sean McDermott. He meant other coaches. Now, those other coaches, I guess Joe Brady, the OC, he's there. Whoever the wide receiver
Was that
coach is.
Dorsey?
I don't know what they're saying, but it's just a very interesting, and there's video that seems to contradict that. He also said, did Pagula, that there was no power struggle and that if there was one, he would have got rid of both of them. He doesn't do power struggles. Now, Vic is as plugged in as plugged in can be to the Buffalo operation and has been for better part of 4 decades.
Yeah, 40 years, yeah.
That was exact words that he used. There has been a power struggle going on for months
Right.
between them. He alluded to the fact that they were not having dialogues.
Yep. I was
did find
shocked.
that video if you guys want it.
Which one's
That-
this,
of
Kev?
the inside the actual draft room, so like a post draft kind of like review or thing like that. I did find that video that Nathan was talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Basically, when I went to bed that night, I was like, it's Keon unless someone just blows us away. We didn't feel anything was attractive enough for us to pass up on Keon.
All things considered. All things considered. Just get the guy who's feels the best fit. Yep.
It might be obvious, but so tomorrow we pick him.
We're just going to keep trading more. We're going to get 14 fifths. Barring someone offering us something stupid, we'll take Keon Coleman.
Yeah, there you go. So that's what you're talking about.
Nothing's aging well in Buffalo.
No, and
Other than Vic Carucci.
well, he ages like a fine wine.
Amen.
Here's what I was really surprised to see them up there together. Because quite honestly, like Pagula could have just done this. You know, I mean, it's probably noteworthy. It's probably noted that the head coach or the owner would do something like that. You fire a coach like him who's been as successful as he has and all that comes with it. I'm the one that made that decision. I mean, this is happening.
Well, think about how
We
we
had
did it
ownership
here.
here. We had
Jimmy did
Yeah.
his, and then AB did his. And it probably creates a better
Yeah.
dynamic because when
For
he
sure.
steps in, I don't think Bean was ever going to say that. I'll be honest, I believe, and I've seen some people say this as well, that it feels like what just happened at that press conference has made a job with arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now less attractive than it was prior to that press conference.
You're signing up for an experience now that is different than it was 24 hours ago, or at least perceived differently. Now, what type of coach in this? Like Harbaugh's probably I'm trying to think. Is Harbaugh the only one that's available that could go in there? And he's not available now, but that was available that could have gone in there and said, like, yeah, I'm going to do. If you want me, this is what it takes. Like the rest of these guys that are interviewing, they're all assistants getting their first job, or else they are, guys who have been fired once looking for their second. So there isn't a Mike Vrabel in this process. There no longer is a John Harbaugh in this process. According to Jay Glazer, Mike Tomlin's never going to be in this process again. According to Glazer, he's done coaching, period. So Tomlin would have that where he could, if you interviewed Tomlin in your Buffalo, Tomlin could go in there and say, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be my front office guys. And Pagula would say, yes, absolutely. That makes sense. And the same thing would be true with Harbaugh. There's nobody else in this process that would have that type of clout.
No.
Everybody else is going to sign up to work for what ownership and Brandon Beane want.
Honestly, the only people that have that clout, Harbaugh, who's in the Giants and has already been like, I get final say, to the point where Joe Shine has to be like, that doesn't matter. It's just on a piece of paper.
Right.
Well, feels like it matters. Yeah, and McDermott probably could go and do many organizations in the league, but obviously he's not going back to Buffalo. And I would imagine McDermott would do that. I think McDermott's going to go somewhere where he can say either he has previous experience and knows the GM and is totally comfortable with him, or I would imagine he's going to say, I want to bring my GM. I'm not having what just happened to me after I won 10 games for 7 straight years, went to the playoffs 7 years in a row. I'm not. This isn't happening. This is going to be my guy that's with me.
I asked Vic that question yesterday. I think he'll get back into it. He goes, I don't know if he will this year, but I know that he'll be very smart and choosy about his decision. Like, he's going to go to the perfect circumstance. He's proven. He's not signing up for anything where he has to take conditioning.
Yep.
Just not.
Nope.
And he's earned the right not to do that. But just from from our perspective, it's a home run because we're over here and it's content and it's a fun watch and it was crazy to watch in real time. But if you're over there, clearly do those two separately. Do owner first and then do GM, and then you've got, or vice versa, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But you need to have one of them go first, and then that's the company line that you talk off of that line.
Yep.
And what you got was not that in any way.
No.
So.
It's. I think it's fascinating. I think it adds a big layer to this thing.
And for whatever, like, no consultation with Josh Allen. I don't know if it matters or not, but
I thought he was a part of the search.
I thought he said Allen was going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
The ultimate decision.
Well, he had that quote. Pagula had that quote where he saw Josh in the locker room sobbing, and Josh didn't even acknowledge him as he was consoling him, and he's like, I knew I had to do something. Which is wild.
I think you took that and went the wrong direction.
They're upset because they lost a heartbreaking game.
Yeah,
he said part of the reason's the locker room. Then he said, "Well, what if?" And then he goes, "We're here because of a bad call." And they said, "Would you stay? Would he still be the coach?" I don't want to speculate on that.
Well, he would be because you'd be in the AFC Championship game, and so if that call was, in our view, made correctly, then you go win that game, and you're playing in New England on the AFC Championship game. So that's the other thing that's crazy. I mentioned this yesterday in regard to both the Ravens and the Bills situations, both Super Bowl worthy teams, teams that are, you're talking about MVPs in their prime, which never happens at quarterback. They're both available. And if Baltimore makes a kick, and if a penalty, and if a catch is ruled a catch instead of an interception, both those guys are probably still in those two jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would have taken Baltimore over Houston, the way Houston played that night in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
If that Houston team was going to Baltimore and CJ was playing that way, Baltimore advances.
Yep.
Right? So, it changed everything. It's just a couple of things that changed the perception of all of it. So
Wild.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be very fascinating to see how it all shakes out. Let's take a quick timeout, then we'll get to a Mel Kiper mock draft 1.0. Who does he have us picking? Some thoughts from Mel as well. We'll get into that coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. For the ultimate Browns gear, head to the Browns Pro Shop Fanatics Experience right next to Huntington Bank Field. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, collectibles, exclusive merch you will not find anywhere else. Shop in-store, online at shop.clevelandbrowns.com. The Browns Pro Shop, official merch for true Browns fans. All right, we've got a mock draft. It's mock draft season, baby!
Let's go.
What a
The
time to
G-Man
be
was
alive.
like, I don't know. Are we ready for this? I go, oh, we're ready.
We're ready.
We are ready. Bring on the mocks.
All right, so before we get to this, we'll get to where who Mel Kiper Jr. has us picking at 6 and 24. But here is actually this is response to who he has us picking at 6. He has us picking Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah. I can't speak to it. We're not there yet. So there's some of these kids in this draft that I'd be able to speak to because I've seen them a lot. I didn't watch a ton of Utah play, certainly not enough to where I would know if their offensive tackle was outstanding. But they have him 6th overall. Here is Mel Kiper Jr., joined by Field Yates, courtesy of NFL ESPN First Draft on the reason for Fano at 6.
Cleveland Browns back on the
Touchdown for now.
We could use another wide receiver. As of right now, Mel, we don't know who is going to be the head coach for the Cleveland Browns, but that defense is, I think, at least playoff ready, if not dominant playoff ready. The offense could certainly use some work, though.
They could. And Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon would look great in the Cleveland Browns uniform, but they pick again when I pick from Jacksonville, which is at 24, correct, Field?
24,
so
that's right. Yep.
That's where you have to say, okay, do I take the receiver here, then look at the offensive lineman? It's kind of ironic the way it's going to work out, but I'll get to that in a second. Do you take a Spencer Fano from Utah, as opposed to a Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon? Take Fano and wait for the receiver, like maybe a Denzel Boston could be there, right?
Yep.
Okay. Or do you take the receiver and Tyson, say, and then wait for Caleb Lomu, to maybe be there, or a Caden Proctor from Alabama, or a Monroe Freeling from Georgia, Those are some of your options if you want to wait for the offensive lineman. So wide receiver, offensive lineman, however they feel the rankings and where can they get the best value would be the way to go. Fano, to me, that's who I'm going with. The bottom line is I'm a Shador Sanders guy. You know that, Field. We can debate that. I'm not going to get involved with that. That's my opinion.
Let's take one show off on that.
We're not going there. But whoever it is, I think Shador, protect him. And Shador showed he could move a lot better than people gave him credit for. He can move. He can avoid. He can escape. And a lot of coaches were saying, boy, he makes it interesting. And he creates. I mean, he creates when it's not there. Did anybody say that before the draft when they were ripping him? No. So, again, Shador, Spencer Fano, that offensive line was a disaster. That impacted on some of the things you saw that were good, bad, and ugly from a young quarterback, the offensive line. So Spencer Fano played right tackle. Caleb Lomu was left tackle. Spencer Fano gets after it. These kids come out of Utah. They're very well. Why is Whittingham at Michigan now? Because this is a well-coached,
tough,
a fundamentally sound football team, right? Technically sound offensive linemen come out of there ready to go in the NFL. I'll go Spencer Fano. But I can understand it. Hey, they want Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon there that get the receiver, they get the line. I have no problem with that. However, but Fano is right now in mock 1.0, my pick for the Cleveland Browns at pick number 6.
All right, there you go. So it's interesting. The first thing I did when I saw that he was taking Spencer Fano, who's on our, if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see it. The graphic, good job at the fellas. Dr. J, great job. I was curious who went ahead of him, and then where are the tackles in the 20s? And on this Mel Kiper mock 1.0, the best tackle that I saw is the kid from Miami. Francis Mayoga.
He goes 3.
Yeah, he goes 3, I see, to Arizona. Carnell goes right before us to the Giants at 5. And then there's a couple of receivers that happen right after us, and what's ironic is he has us taking receiver Zachariah Branch with 24, and there's 3 tackles that come after him.
Yep.
So what this is going to be, and this is why this is going to be a fun process for us, is do we, by the time we're done with the combine, we're done talking to all these people, we've had 1,000 conversations with Dane, do we want the number 2 receiver, because it feels like that's what's going to be available, or the number 2 tackle? Because it doesn't seem like the number 1 receiver, as it stands right now, a lot can change, doesn't seem like the number 1 receiver or the number 1 tackle is going to get to 6.
And now is the time when people, and we had a lot of fun winning those last 2 games, are going to say, what the heck did we win those last 2 games for? We could have had our pick of any of them.
Well, you could have gone one, and you could have traded for
one.
Mendoza, and you picked up an extra 1, and who knows?
Or could have
drafted him.
Yeah. Who knows? So I think everybody will know where I come out on this. and that is I would
Same. You know where I'm going to be.
give me the receiver.
Of course.
Give me the receiver. I would rather if it's going to depend on how your board falls, though. The reality is if you had receivers 2 through 6 in a similar tier, you're probably going to wait. If you don't, you won't. Now, when you look at this, the picks, as you mentioned, right after, you get Proctor, who we mentioned from Alabama, goes 28. Freeling from Georgia goes 29. And even before that, after our pick, is the other tackle from Utah. He's got going to the 49ers, saying that he's the Trent Williams, the heir apparent to Trent Williams. So I'll take
any of those guys.
I'll take that guy later in the first round.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Would the Giants, with Malik Neighbors come back from injury, would they pull the trigger right there on that? Do they want to tackle? Do they want a pass rusher? I don't know. I think if Carnell Tate's there, I'm taking him for sure. That's not even a hesitation for me. I like Jordan Tyson. I like Lemon from USC, and we'll get into way more into this. We're not doing any of our draft stuff. I haven't done tape studies on these receivers. I will.
No.
We'll get the Hoff's opinion on the tackles. That'll be easy. But even when I'm looking here at the receiver that he gives to us late, Zachariah Branch from Georgia, 81 catches, 811 yards, 6 scores, so that's 10 yards a catch, 5'10", 180. Now, we would have a lot of good information on the next player who went 26 to the Bills, Chris Brazel II, if I pronounce that correctly. 6'5", long arms, sure hands, great concentration, make him a big-time target in the end zone on contested balls. I see explosiveness to get out of his breaks and separate. Had over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns this season. We're the Browns, and we play, for now, outdoors.
Yeah.
We need a big number 1 type guy. I don't think we need another smallish guy. We've got Judy. We've got Isaiah Bond, who I think, and Malachi Corley, who certainly fits that role of the smallish guy that can be, you get your jet sweeps, get him in space, and he was very effective at that. I think you're kind of good at that. I think you need a dude out there.
I agree.
And Ted Tillman has shown flashes, but he just hasn't stayed healthy enough, unfortunately, over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a dude.
Yeah, I'm with you in terms of the kind of the. I don't know the size of all these guys.
Jordan Tyson is 6'2". What's Carnell? Do you
He's
know
6'4".
6'3",
6'4".
Give me all that. The kid out of USC is 5'11".
Yeah, 195.
Like Zay Flowers size.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's the size that you want that.
I want some.
We need that.
Yeah,
I
want some size.
Go run a fade. High point it.
Go let us throw the ball up to him. So it's interesting, and that's what this draft is going to be all about. I think everybody's got a pretty good idea of the positions the Cleveland Browns are targeting. Now, I look at this and I say, you know what, if I don't love either one of these tackles, and let's say I'm not a Jordan Tyson team on my board, I like our safeties, but give me Caleb Downs. Just give me dudes.
Yeah.
If he goes 10 in this, I think of Caleb Downs as
he's
definitely a top 10 talent.
He's Ed Reed type. Not saying he's going to be a first ballot guy, but
we could live in 3 safeties with Grant playing kind of a hybrid linebacker role, and you have Hickman and Caleb Downs. That would be unbelievable. I'm all weapons, and believe me, you'd say, how could you even say that? To me, he's just a megastar. But I think our draft pick should be wide receiver, offensive line, wide receiver, offensive line, wide receiver, offensive line, wide receiver, offensive line. That's what I think. Now, we wanted that last year, and listen, it turned out, I think, very well. Both these guys made the Pro Football Writers Association all-rookie team on defense, and Mason, who didn't have the statistical impact, although people have said he's had a very good season, and then there was Carson, who was incredible.
Yeah.
And certainly very much needed. But I want to find a way to get the number 1 receiver on my board here. That would be my top priority.
So as we define big receivers, the 3 that would be considered big as first-round talents would be Tyson at 6'2", 200, Carnell at 6'3", 195, and then Denzel Boston out of Washington at 6'4", 210. He's a load, that one. So those would
Where does he go in this? The Steelers, 21. By the way, I hate the AFC North gets Caleb Downs, Malachi Lemon, and Denzel Boston. No, thank you.
No, we don't need that.
We don't need that. We need those guys.
Yeah. So those would be the 3 guys. Branch and Lemon are the smaller dudes. But if you want the big receiver, then those are the guys you're looking for. You're talking about You're talking about Jordan Tyson. You're talking about Carnell Tate, and you're talking about Denzel Boston. Those guys are 6'3" or better with some size, and they have that prototypical number one wide receiver frame.
Yep.
All right, coming up next, we'll visit with our good buddy Bat Money Smith, radio voice of the L.A. Chargers, on the Mike McDaniel job and discuss perhaps Jesse Minter and where he could land if he is of interest. We get to all of that coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Runs Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to head on that Twisted Tea hotline, presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. We are joined by Matt Money Smith, radio voice of your Los Angeles Chargers, and he joins us now. Obviously, an offensive coordinator hiring with Mike McDaniel was going to interview in person over here this week for the head coaching job. That didn't happen. It's supposed to be today, as Z points out. Didn't happen because he was hired yesterday in Los Angeles. I know Jim Harbaugh a very little bit. You know him a lot better. Z knows Mike McDaniel a pretty good amount. How exactly is that going to work?
Well, Bo, I think what we hope is it's going to be the most explosive offense in the league, and I think when Jim and Joe Ortiz did their, postseason wrap presser, Jim was asked, we know what style of football you like. You want to run power. You want to play a physical brand of football. Does that still hold? And he said there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and we are open to anything. And certainly this is a departure from the style of offense that he has run his entire career. I think it's a recognition that defensively they've been great. We're going to get to Jesse, I'm sure, here in a second. But then the offense has let him down these 2 years. You're talking about 15 points combined in 2 playoff games. And I think you look at what the Dolphins did to the Chargers, with Tua throwing 3 picks, and they basically had that game won with 40-something seconds left after that touchdown pass to Waller, and certainly there's a lot there to like. Personalities, I don't know Coach Harbaugh that well, but he talks to us every week. I chat with him and meal and stuff like that, and he seems to get along with everyone. He's an odd bird, yeah, but he's also one that everyone just kind of likes to be around. So I think the two of them are probably similar in that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a good offensive mind, and he's I think going to figure out a way to get the best out of Omarion Hampton, who was obviously the big investment in last year's draft for that team, and obviously hopefully get Justin Herbert over the hump. Do you expect with a guy like Mike McDaniel coming in and the kind of offense that he's going to want to run that we're going to see an infusion of speed into that offense down there in L.A.?
Yeah, that's a great point, Nathan. I think, look, Omarion's fast enough. He's explosive.
Absolutely.
Right? We saw some of those edge runs for 50-something yards. He's not Raheem Mostert fast. He's not A-Chain fast. But I think there's enough there. And wide receiver is what I'll be interested
Absolutely.
in. Because, look, he's explosive. He's quick. He's just not that, he's not that Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle fast. So I think that's probably something to keep an eye on. They have a lot of money to spend in free agency. I don't know if that's where they would want to commit it. I think that, I would assume priorities 1 and 2 are going to be center and guard, based on how it went with Bozeman and Becton and the unlikelihood that either of them. I don't think Becton will be back. They'd rather have that $9 million, and I'm guessing that that Bozeman is probably going to return as a backup. It's just not quite a fit. So I don't. Wide receivers are so expensive now.
Yep.
Not quite sure where you find it, but yeah, you're right. They're probably going to need to find. Look, if George Pickens could come on a 1-year deal, yeah, perfect. I think that's probably what you'd want to be looking at.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot for the franchise because obviously onto the second coach with Herbert, who has just supreme talent, and you're looking at everything, obviously an ultra-competitive division, and I would imagine there's some pressure that's starting to mount a little bit, maybe not like it is in Buffalo and Baltimore, where it's like, boy, we got to take advantage of this, but I imagine there's some of that there. Like, we have to take advantage of this kid's window of his prime, and you're smack dab in the middle of it. So do you sense that in the organization, that now is the time to really go and put pedal to metal, as it were?
Yeah, I felt like that last year, guys, when they went and signed Jim Harbaugh, right? This is not Anthony Lynn. This is not Brandon Staley. This is not Mike McCoy. This is the number one coach on the market that's commanding, I don't know exactly what his number is, but probably somewhere between 18 and 20 million bucks a year. Not to mention, you got to make my strength and conditioning guy the highest paid in the league because there's 500 colleges that want him. You got to bring in Jesse Minter. That's going to cost you $1 million+ bucks, and and on. And they spent it. They wrote that check. And once you saw that, and I think about what the Raiders, paid Chip Kelly to come be their offensive coordinator when he could have taken a head coaching job. And this is what I'm assuming Mike McDaniel's getting. I mean, I don't know if there's offsets in his contract and that changes the math, but if Chip Kelly's getting $6 million, I think you can make a very easy case that if you're not including play calling head coaches, if you're just talking about a straight offensive coordinator, he's the best offensive coordinator in the league.
Yep.
You know, it's just that it's not the head coach. So, yeah, I think you're right. It's Super Bowl or bust right now. I think, you know, they look at Justin Herbert, year 6, and, you know, you're like, okay, what do we got to show for? We don't have any playoff wins. We're on our 3rd head coach with him. What can we do? You know, when we've had a top 5 defense in each of the last 2 years, what can we do to get, you know, what we believe is one of the best quarterbacks in the league over that hump and build on, like I've been feeling so much momentum the last 2 years since they hired Harbaugh with the fan base. It's changed so much. And I think they want to try to pay that off. Like, man, if we don't pay this off quick, it's going to disappear. And so I think there's a little bit of that pressure as well.
And there could be pressure to carry through. You mentioned the success of that defense with a new person in charge of that defense. Jesse Minter, obviously a head coaching finalist for the Cleveland Browns. He will be here to interview, I believe, tomorrow. We know he's with the Ravens right now, and a lot of people think he might not even get away from the Ravens, and that might be where he ends up becoming their head coach. What can you tell us about him? And obviously he's somebody who is clearly very highly regarded, and it feels like will be a head coach in this coaching cycle.
Yeah, I'd be floored if he wasn't. What can I tell you? If you hire him, you've got an absolute home run of a hire. That defense the last 2 years, when you think about what he inherited, it was a team that was over the cap, that had no money to spend. They picked up a Puna Ford, who was, I think, a healthy DNP about 8 or 10 times for the Bills, turned him into a Pro Bowler and a guy that got a $30 million contract from the Rams. They picked up Christian Fulton, who was, basically a non-factor in Tennessee, made him into a pretty solid corner number 1, ended up getting a bunch of money from the Chiefs. And what's he doing there? Not really playing like this. And then this year, Deshaun Hand, Tierra Tart. I mean, these are the guys that he is turning into not just good players, but like defensive changing play, like change the level that your defense plays at is what Tierra Tart was playing at this year and what Puna was playing at last year. So that to me is coaching, right? That's like, who do I have? I'm not going to, kick and scream about we don't have money and I don't have a number 1 corner. No, he's just, what do you got for me? Let's figure out how to build the best defense around these guys. Deion Henley was a third round pick, I believe, who never got on the field with Brandon Staley. He's sitting behind Eric Kendricks, watching him get stuck in the grass and completions getting thrown all over the field. Minter comes in and he's like, why isn't this guy in the game? And, in his second year, 2 years ago, turns him into one of the best off-ball linebackers in the league. Like, that's just, to me, that's what you get more than anything. And that's, well, I shouldn't say that. Like, that's the starting point. And then when you check, I would encourage Browns fans, if he doesn't get locked up by the Ravens today, if he's in play for the team, like, just go to the Chargers.com website, click on videos, and watch some of his pressers. How detailed they are, how specific they are, recalling exact moments and exact games and what he was thinking and why he did what he did. And then just listen to the players, Derwin James, Khalil Mack, guys like that, the way they talk about him. And then just watch the games, schematically what he does. It was a Patriots team that was averaging 29 points per game and had the offense giving them anything in that game. They probably could have got out of Foxborough with a win because he's got them held to 3 points at the half, basically, an interception and a fumble from Drake May. I mean, that's how good he is.
Matt, where is he on, like, leader of men stuff? Follow me to freedom guy, that type of stuff.
Way up there. I think he's not a, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's not a yelling type of leadership. It's just like you listen to, I remember posting something. I was at one of his pressers and thought he said something just so perfect, so insightful. And it kind of reminded me, it was coming off the Brandon Staley cycle where Brandon is kind of sees himself. And I think you could argue he had a great time in Los Angeles with the Rams, did a great job this year with the Saints, but he kind of envisioned himself as this mad genius, right? And I've got, here's the test. Well, I've got 9 different ways to give you an answer to that question. And I remember Jesse saying about the way he coaches, he said, yeah, I think guys get caught up with trying to show off how much they know. And I feel like the player looks at you and says, yeah, that's great that you know that, but do I need to know that? And to me, that's exactly him. It's like, I am going to give you everything you need to succeed without trying to flex. If we're great at running the ball, guess what we're going to do? We're going to run the ball. I don't have to show off that I've got all these, passing concepts to kind of get my name into conversations with the Sean McVays of the world. Let's just figure out a way to win. And so he exudes that from the podium of someone who you believe is going to go into a Sunday game with a plan to put his players in a position to win. And I think when you can do that, it automatically makes you a leader of men. And I remember he said, when the team didn't sign Puna back, you could have, again, complained like, it's kind of a straw that stirred the drink on defense, and we let him go, and it wasn't that expensive. But no, instead his answer was, man, I'm so happy for Puna. He came here not knowing what his NFL future was. I asked him to buy in, and he bought in every day. And I could not be more happy for him and his family that he's got $30 million now and will never have to worry about that again. That's the kind of guy he is. And I think that's the kind of guy that players are like, yes, I'm going to play for you.
He's obviously well known to people in the state of Ohio, as he was Michigan's defensive coordinator in 22-23. We talked about the Ravens earlier and the time spent there, where he was also on the staff with Mike Macdonald. Is he a guy that you think people are viewing and watching what Mike Macdonald has done with the Seattle Seahawks, that Jesse Minter is cut from that same cloth? Both were DCs at Michigan under Harbaugh. Both have had a lot of success. Is that kind of how you think people around the league are seeing him and hoping that that's what they can, tap into here?
Yeah, I think, especially if you just look at what he's done the last 2 years, right, and what Mike Macdonald's done the last 2 years. Like, when they fired John Harbaugh, that was my assumption. I was like, well, and talking to some people, I don't know if I'm right. I said, maybe they just felt like they missed out on Macdonald, and they don't want to do it again because they know Jesse's going to get a job in this cycle. Yep. And they're like, let's get him before someone else does, because we already lost Macdonald when we knew he was going to be special. But then I'm hearing more that, that Eric DeCosta isn't necessarily that, just hit the 5-iron down the middle, man. It's a tight fairway. Don't bring anything into play. And that he may be thinking, one of these bright, young, Udinsky from Jacksonville, Davis Webb from Denver, like, he may go that direction and just kind of throw a bit of a wild card out there. If they're smart, let's hire Jesse, and think about what he can do with that defense. But it doesn't seem like we see that too often, right? It feels like, teams do something that you don't expect them to do.
They certainly do. We always expect greatness out of you, and you always deliver, buddy.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for your time, as always. Greatly appreciate you.
You got it, Bo. You got it, Nathan. Appreciate it. Enjoy
Thanks.
it.
All right, there he goes. Matt Money Smith, radio voice of your Los Angeles Chargers. He joined us on the Twisted Tea Hotline, presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland.
Great dude, and him and Daniel Jeremiah do an excellent job, and we always end up chatting with them whenever we cross paths. They're just excellent people and very good at what they do.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We've got an update on our playoff fantasy scores. We can get to that, among other things, coming up next. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The new Rumpke Recycling and Resource Center helps feed the circular economy, supplying Ohio companies and others in the Midwest with material they need to put what you place in your bins to good use. So learn more about the facility and how you can recycle more. Visit Rumpke.com. Today, some breaking news. Ian Rappaport, the Falcons expected to hire former Browns offensive coordinator Tommy Rees as the new offensive coordinator for Coach Kevin Stefanski. The favorite all along, Rees now lands in Atlanta. So he's got Rees as coordinator. He's got Callahan as offensive line coach. And obviously he will be over all of it. So there you go. That was expected, I think, by a great many people.
Not a surprise at all.
All right. Probably also not a surprise, our fantasy ratings.
Yeah, no, it is a 3-horse race for the right to what's going to end up happening is
I've caught some people.
What's going to happen is
smirch my little move.
Hold on a second. I'm just going to say Bo and I, who are in no danger at all of being the lunch buyers. In fact, Bo he's going to win this thing.
Look at little G-Man over there with his little book. He's got his little book.
We are prepared to offer a door number 2 to the loser.
We'll get there.
Well, I'm just saying,
there could be an alternative.
Setting the stage
for potentially.
Right. That's right.
Are we ready here, G-Man?
Yeah. So
Gabriel.
We'll go from first to fifth. And first is you, Uncle Bo.
Yep.
You have 149.48 total.
Yeah, and he's got his whole team still.
71.06 this week.
Bo is either going to win this thing or come in dead last.
That was my bet.
That was your bet.
And to be fair,
a good bet.
I don't need to be crowned anything. I picked number 1. So when you pick number 1, you get the opportunity to pick what you expect to be the best player in the whole thing.
Yeah, but Kyron Williams was an excellent pick later on.
He was. My entire strategy was based on which 2 teams do I believe are going to play in the Super Bowl, and then it just so happened the 2 teams that I believe were going to play in the Super Bowl also didn't have byes.
Mm-hmm.
So minimum, if I get them even to this round, I was going to get 3 games out of the majority of my roster, and in fact, I will get 3 full games.
Yep.
You will. And in second place is you, Z, 137.24 total, 52.12 this week. You had lost 2 players. You'll now be without Josh Allen and Colston Loveland as well.
Yeah, I only have R.J. Harvey and Mevis left.
But I'm 137.
I'm in a good spot.
I haven't seen this, so I'm reacting in real time to all of this. All right.
You're winning going away.
You're winning.
You might double.
It's hard
up
to imagine me not
last.
winning at this point.
No,
since
you
I
are
still have
winning.
all 6 guys still going.
No, you are winning. You don't have to imagine it.
There's no scenario which I can be caught.
Correct. No.
All right, go ahead.
In third is Jordan, 127.88 total, only 38.72 this week. Obviously, the Packers' loss hurt him a little bit, but he's still got Matt Stafford.
That'll be
his only player left. No more Khalil Shakir, no more Matt Prater either.
137, 127. I have 2. You have 6. He has 1. Okay.
In fourth place is Gibbe.
Gibbe made up some ground. Boy, 78. He was the weekly winner.
105.
He was the weekly winner. Weekly high of 78.96. He's at 105.46 total. Unfortunately, he'll be without Bo Nix. Just a freak accident.
Yeah.
I mean,
no Bo Nix, no James Cook. You got Jackson Smith and Jigba, Colby Parkinson, and Cortland Sutton. So Gibbe's got 3 guys left.
3 left, and all good ones. He's got good 3 left. I like his chances over you, Dr. J.
Yeah.
Down 20.
Rounding things out, I just had an abysmal week. 20.3 points.
Oh, gee, man.
Matt Stafford doesn't throw the ball to Devontae Adams anymore. Hunter Henry had 3 targets. Zach Charbonnet blew out his knee. Just a great week.
Young Gabriel's down 10 to Gibbe and has Devontae Adams and Hunter Henry left, but could catch.
Dr. J's got.
But Dr. J's has Stafford.
Yeah, so Stafford's going to cancel out Adams.
I basically need Stafford to just feed Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae can have a bigger game than Stafford.
Which will also feed Stafford to a certain degree.
In a PP,
I need Stafford
you need
to
Devontae to have a
sacked
10,
6
160,
times.
and 3, which would be
a Puka game,
44-point game, and then you're back in it.
Yeah,
but the bottom line is,
it's honestly I think it's down. It's you 3.
It's those 3. Yeah,
I don't think there's any scenario where Dr. J catches Dr. Z.
No,
there's no scenario where anyone catches me.
No,
and so it
not
just,
a single person.
Yeah, I mean, even if the Patriots and Rams both lose, I still feel quite good that they'll accomplish something this weekend. I still have Drake May.
You do.
I forgot I had Drake May.
No, you have everybody.
You have Golden. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yes, you are winning.
Yeah, fact.
So there you go. Here's where we stand.
There you go. It was a bet on two teams.
By the way,
on two teams.
it was perilous. Carolina had them on the ropes.
Oh, dude, I could have been done in week 1.
Yeah, could have been done.
I mean, the Rams barely survive.
Yeah.
Or I'm cooked. And the Patriots, yeah. It was just a bet on
You're
those
not
two teams.
cooked. And it was a good bet.
No.
It turns out that it was a
no.
A
I mean, this
well-made
is going to make. Yeah, I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't want to get into what the ulterior option is for the loser of this, but based on our preferred dining level,
yeah,
I think you're going to choose option two. I think
Yeah,
is going to be
think
where
option
you're going to
two,
want to be.
yeah.
I think you want to be
it
in
is.
option 2.
And let me tell you something.
We won't do that yet.
There will be great rejoicing in the land.
Girl's like a 10-year-old, man. For him to keep this secret is going to kill
It'd be
him.
really hard. I know.
really hard.
I know.
going to
It's very
kill him.
difficult. It's very difficult. Now he's a vault. He's a vault with
I am a
things.
vault.
He's a vault. But there is also on the less serious things. He gets excitable.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to try
You
to
don't say.
get him with a tranquilizer
There
to,
you go.
to keep this under wraps at least for another week. But I can tell there's some juice.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Such a great cameo. Siciliano, is he joining us next? I believe he is.
Oh, baby.
He went to Syracuse.
He did. He
He's
did.
an orange jacket.
He's got an orange jacket. He's going to be host of the Gold Zone. He's going to be my dad's best friend. My dad is going to watch Gold Zone nonstop.
baby.
Going to love it. He'll join us coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, kids, it's that time. We head out on the Twisted Tea Hotline presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. He is the voice of your Cleveland Browns. He is a 2025 WAER Hall of Fame inductee at the Syracuse University.
Orange jacket.
He is the host of NBC's Gold Zone for the upcoming 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympic Games. He is the pride of Reston, Virginia. Also, I believe J.J. Redick from Reston. Is that right?
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. Not Reddick? Reddick's from Virginia somewhere, isn't he?
Grant Hill's Adidas shoes were uncomfortable and gave me blisters.
Fila.
J.J.
Fila,
Redick,
that's right.
I
Fila.
don't
Yes, Fila's.
believe
Yes, thank you.
is a native
Very uncomfortable.
Virginian. Let me see.
J.J.
No, he's a native Tennessean.
Fila, that's right.
Tennessean. I'll be damned. I thought he was Virginia.
Take it back. He went to high school in Roanoke, different part of the state.
Still got it.
That's like
Still got it.
that's
R-
like
still got
saying
an R in
Cincinnati's
Virginia.
in the
And
it's
same
Virginia?
state as
Yeah,
Cleveland.
yeah, uh-huh.
Right, but I got he's
Northern
Virginia.
Virginia, Roanoke, very different places.
Very. But
Grant,
but
do you ever
both
run
begin
into
with R?
Grant Hill? Ask him what was up with those Filas. I actually went into a Foot Locker to purchase those and then brought them back. And I was like, look at my – and I did. I brought them back and I'm like, these shoes are awful. And I had to I showed them my feet.
Yeah.
Blisters, death.
Wow.
And they said, you know what? We'll give you your money back. And then I bought some ankle breaker Kobe's.
I was just going to say, if you went from them to the ankle breaker
It
Kobe,
was a bad stretch
the
for me.
Crazy Eight
Yeah,
Kobe's?
the Crazy Eights. Yeah, where it's just
both
like,
of those.
Fun fact,
just let me.
Grant Hill signed my high school yearbook.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
He's not an orange jacket though. So
Did you know-
whatever.
so-
He is not. He is just a basketball Hall of Famer.
What color is that jacket?
Yeah.
What
It's
they-
orange.
Smith.
It's orange. It's like they make it like the ball. So it's orange too. But not
Not
the
the orange jacket.
No.
That's
There you
like
go.
an impossible.
Jimmy
That's
did.
like when somebody's like, "Oh, we're gonna make a green jacket." No,
Yeah.
there's only one.
No,
Let me ask you
can't do
this. So did you know Grant growing up?
No, he's maybe we were at high school. We were at South Lakes at the same time. He's either 2 or 3 years older than me. I can't remember, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't know who the heck I was when I walked up to him in the cafeteria and said, "Could you sign my yearbook?" He had no clue at all. But he was my little brother's summer basketball camp counselor.
That's cool.
One year. Yeah.
Do you
The reason
remember what
I
he
asked-
signed?
Yeah. Did he?
Did
say
he have
this,
an
or
inscription?
He just signed
Oh,
it?
I think it was like one of those standard "Have a great summers," meaning I don't know who you are.
He should have something like, "Don't forget the thrill that was Grant Hill."
No, that was not him.
What I always think's cool about those stories, though, is when you have greatness, like in your town or whatever. Like when was it identified? Like, and I'm assuming where you grew up, like everybody knew at a young age that's a dude.
Yeah, so the backstory obviously was his dad played for the Skins. So now his dad had already retired at that point, but his dad was a big deal. So when Grant was coming up, this was Calvin Hill's son.
Yeah.
And then he turned into a great basketball player, and then we would go to games, and no joke, we would see John Thompson and Mike Krzyzewski and John Chaney and Jim Calhoun and all these coaches at our games scouting him because here was the son of the Pro Bowl running back who was already the phenom, and everybody knew he was the thing.
That's something.
Did you in high school? Did you call any games? Did you?
No, I was I did student newspaper, so I covered games. But by that point, Grant was gone. We had a guy named Joey Beard, who was a top 5 prospect, went to Duke, washed out
Joey
after a
Beard.
year.
I remember that name.
Big white kid went on to, I want to say Boston U, and went 20-10. We had a kid named Quinn Harwood who went to Davidson, who was a 20-10 player as well. We had a very
Squad.
good
Yeah.
basketball
Formidable.
program. Yeah.
While we're in the topic of where you grew up in the area, and you mentioned the Skins there, what did you make of the stadium renderings and putting this sucker back at RFK?
I think it looks cool. I think it's great for the region that it goes back there. I know my family's in Northern Virginia, and most of the people, and that's where the facility is, their Monday through Friday building. Everyone in Northern Virginia, nobody wanted it out there.
Yeah.
At all. It should be in the district. I think that location is perfect. The building now, the old RFK, which has been raised, when we were there, when were we there for a game? Last year, right? I drove by it leaving the stadium because I went back to see my folks after the game. It looked like something from a zombie movie. It had deteriorated so bad. It was boarded up. It was condemned. It was urban blight. It looks so bad. So any rendering they have for a new building will look better than what that place has looked like the last 20 years.
Yeah, facts. Only one direction to go. Hopefully they do a better job of putting the radio booth where you can actually see a ball in the air, because from the booth you can't see anything that goes over. Like Jeff Blake, if Jeff Blake was playing in that stadium, you would have no idea any of his passes. They would just leave.
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? I don't know.
His,
Is it up there? Who knows?
All the big air that Shador has under the
Exactly.
Well, my very first NFL game was there. I found the program recently. It was Billy Sims and the Lions in town.
Sure.
Yeah, then I would see the Browns every, was it 8 years they came in?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's very good. All right,
cool.
Let's get into some of the business of the day. What did you make?
There's two ways you can go here, and both are going to have a laugh.
Yeah, well, I'll let you pick. It'll be choose your own adventure.
Go.
What did you make of what happened on X or the press conference in Buffalo? You choose.
Okay. I thought you were going to go press conference in Buffalo first.
Well, I was, but then you never know from that chuckle.
Both are great.
Okay. I'll do the press conference first. I thought Steve Bisciotti last week was like gloriously
a breath of
and
fresh
brutally honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was lovable as well. I thought the Terry Pegula thing was awkward, cringeworthy. I thought Brandon Beane had a lot of cleaning up to do. The idea that they kept the GM and fired the coach isn't unique. Obviously, it's the story with the Browns as well. There were 10 openings. 8 of the 10, guys, 8 of the 10 kept the GM and fired the coach.
Yeah.
Only Atlanta and Miami did both. So the Bills aren't unique. The Browns aren't unique. It is what it is. Terry Pegula saying, first of all, he came out double guns on the league.
Yep.
About the call. It should not be forgotten that Sean McDermott's on the competition committee. He came out double guns before he got fired on the league and the officiating as well. But the whole thing with Keon Coleman, where the question was for Brandon Beane. Mm-hmm. He jumped in front of his GM and said, no, I'm going to answer this. Yeah. And said it was the coach's fault. They wanted Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman was the first pick in the second round.
That's right.
So they had all day to field offers. So this idea that they were somehow on the clock and Sean McDermott demanded Keon Coleman, they had all day to talk about it. And
he's
there are
on
all these
video.
Videos. The Bills have posted of Brandon Beane talking up the pick. Now, obviously, that is his job. The GM's not going to come out right after taking this kid and say, well, I don't know that I really wanted him. The coach forced me to do it. It was bonkers.
I mean, he's at the combine saying he's glad he ran a 4.57 because that means they'll be able to get him. And then he's got the other video where he's saying we went to bed at night knowing we were waking up getting Keon Coleman unless somebody blew us away with an offer. Nobody did. We're going to get our guy.
You know who knows all that?
Yeah.
Brandon Beane. You know who doesn't know all that? Terry Pegula.
Yeah.
He's not paying attention to that stuff. Like
clearly.
That's below his he's not seeing it. And Beane would have known that all that stuff's out there.
Yeah.
How about if you're Keon Coleman today?
I'd be like, okay, obviously you don't want me here. You could probably trade right now a bucket of balls for Keon Coleman.
I think you're right.
The guy was a healthy scratch when the Bills came to town to face us.
He was.
The guy's got some off-field maturity issues. I've heard plenty of stories as to why he's not playing. And when he was playing, he's dropping a lot of passes. Now, he dropped a touchdown last week, and he came back and he caught one shortly thereafter. The kid's got some talent, but clearly that was a swing and a miss. To say that Brandon Beane, though, has never gone out and gotten a wide receiver, they traded a 1 for Stephon Diggs. They drafted Josh Allen in 2018, and Pegula pointed out, hey, this is the guy that got Josh Allen. So clearly he has not forgotten that. And then a year later went out and got Stephon Diggs, gave up a 1. So they have tried, just they've swung and missed a lot recently at wide receiver.
Yes, they have. And people would often say, oh, that must be the fault of the general manager, not the head coach. And then I thought one of the other ones that's pretty wild was he
said we have a great roster.
Great roster. We survived all these injuries. Like, if you go and watch the discourse in San Francisco about what the Niners were able to do overcoming their injuries, they're not like, great job, John Lynch. They're saying, wow, Kyle Shanahan, amazing job. Yet in Buffalo, that was the GM did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of me wanted to say you survived all these injuries. Doesn't the coach get credit for surviving all these injuries?
Yes.
But instead, Pagula framed it as, we have all these injuries, but good job by the GM finding guys to plug the holes. That's how he framed it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you own the team, you can frame it however you want.
That's right.
I think the thing that's
that's right.
You know, we talked about this with you last week. This idea of that now there's 2 jobs open with MVP quarterbacks in their prime. Both go win the Super Bowl situation. I think Baltimore's got more overall talent, but you've got Josh Allen, who might be the best overall player in the league. So all of those things are kind of. Do you think that what happened today skews it all the way that job is viewed in Buffalo?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
However, in the end, you still do have Josh Allen. And they made the structure very clear because they avoided it at first, but then eventually Brandon Beane answered because they hemmed him in, point-blank question. New coach will answer to Brandon Beane.
Yeah.
It is not like in New York now with Harbaugh, where Shane and Harbaugh both answered ownership. It's not going to be like that. So I do think it factors. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that changes the pool of candidate that they can get.
I
would
if they
say
call
this.
Brian Daboll right now. Is Brian Daboll really going to say
no? He's the one. He would take it. Davis
Okay.
Webb would take it. I would.
Yeah.
The ironic thing about what I just said is that the only people that would actually impact would be Harbaugh, Tomlin, McDermott.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure McDermott
Right.
now, wherever he goes, is saying, "I'm not working for anybody. I'm bringing my. If you want me,
guys
what
I
I've
trust
done,
only."
I'm bringing my own GM in with me, who I trust completely." Because it felt like coming away from that presser. And, you know, we had Vic on yesterday. I don't know if you listened to the show yesterday, but
I did. I heard it, yeah.
I mean, Vic basically said, the direct quote was, it was a power struggle for months, and they were not talking to each other. And then in the presser day, there's no power struggle. If there was a power struggle, I would have gotten rid of both of them.
Yeah.
I texted somebody in that building yesterday, and I made a Game of Thrones reference, and their response didn't say, no, it isn't. Just put it that way.
Yeah. And my guess is you may were referring to Littlefinger.
And Varys.
Or the Red Wedding.
Or Lord
There's
Varys.
a little bit of
There's
a Red
lot
Wedding
there.
vibe. Yeah.
I've been watching that
yeah.
every once in a while.
'Cause
Those episodes are on the HBO. I'll flip it in.
The best.
It really is great.
As for Baker, how about the Hoff?
All right, so we've got like a couple of our ex-girlfriends in Kevin and Bake. Hoff's our wife. And then then the other one we've got involved in this is D. Orlando, who's our guy. We love having D. Orlando on. I mean, he's our guy. And now he's in the middle of it. What did you make of all that?
So I thought it was an interesting tweet by the dean of Falcons beat writers, who has a funny voice and is always the guy with the first question at the presser, and you know when he's in the room. Let's put it that way. I thought it was an interesting tweet. I don't think it's fair to say Baker failed. I think that's ridiculous. We all remember the 2020 season. We all remember some of the magic he made under questionable circumstances in 2018 and 2019 as well. But I think we all agree, and you guys know, and so the listeners know, I wasn't there in 2021, obviously. I was the national guy that would swoop in, and I would go to a game or two, and Baker was always great to me. I have a good relationship with him. I'm happy for his success, truly. But I wasn't there for when it all fell apart in 2021. The narrative that the Browns just kicked him to the curb, as Baker said, threw him away like a piece of garbage. No, they did what the Rams did, which is make a decision. We don't think we're good enough. We're going to go all in and go get somebody else. It worked for the Rams. It didn't work for the Browns. It's what the Falcons were trying to do. The Saints were trying to do.
Yep.
It's what the Panthers were trying to do. It's what the Eagles kicked the tires on. It's what 10 other teams were trying to do. Say, we're going to go get that guy. It doesn't matter who we have at our building. What we have at our building isn't good enough. It didn't work. We all know that. It did not work. I don't know who called whom. I know this, however, when my mother texts me, call when you have the chance. When I do call, I always respond by saying, hey, you know that device on which you typed a message with your thumbs to say call me? You know, there's one button on that phone.
That's right.
One. Would have saved you 25 keystrokes. One button could have called me.
Yeah, now on the new one, you just punch press on the contact right there.
That's all you do.
If you're in her Fab 5, just boom.
I just took a passive-aggressive shot at my mother.
Yes, we didn't have that on the bingo
you get
card.
My point. Like, the phone goes both ways.
Yes, Hop said so.
But there's so many layers to it. You guys pointed out earlier. The thing with Odell and Odell's dad. It was all broken.
It was a great use of Pal, though.
It was a great use of Pal.
I thought the comma would have. I wanted a comma and then a caps, all caps PAL. That would have really.
Yeah,
but Orlando doesn't deserve to.
If
be
you're going to try
like
to be
that.
grammatically correct on some of it, it's got to be all of it. Or it's all or nothing.
Well, that's what I pointed out last night to you.
You did.
I'm an all or nothing
On
on
our
Twitter.
text thread.
Like,
You
do
did.
none of it or do all of it.
Yeah.
Like, you have a choice. Do you think he will go back at Hoff?
I don't know. I would imagine that's a side text.
Ooh.
Don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the relationship Hoff has with Six. I don't know.
I don't know. But, yeah.
I know they're very friendly
That-
when they were here, but
Sure.
I don't know.
That
I was friendly with everybody because he's the Hoff.
Can we rank in terms of like, so where is Pal compared to like Sport or Bud?
Okay, so you have
Or-
I think
Pal
you're-
to me is.
So Z has a very negative connotation to Pal. I have used
yeah.
it my whole life incredibly positive, and
You
the
and
reason-
Cole,
yeah,
which is a great company to be in.
You're
by the way.
consistent with it, though.
I am. I'm a pal all the time, and
you pal me in a
I
nice
pal.
way.
Of course, I pal everybody.
Yeah.
My dearest friends, and it's Pal, and it stems from the '80s Western Young Guns with
Yeah.
pals. I mean, that's where it came from.
How about Champ?
Champ? I think I don't see any scenario where Champ is positive unless you're calling like Champ kind. Like
Yeah,
I don't
Champ,
know.
not positive.
I think
Jack.
Sport and Champ are really condescending.
Especially when you're not talking
we-
to somebody
we had-
named Jack.
Yeah.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Years ago with an office that shall remain nameless, who's no longer there. But he would call people Champ, Pal, Sport, and we were convinced
He knew
it
nobody's
was
name.
because he knew no one's name.
Yeah.
But did it tick people off?
Bowden did that. Bobby Bowden called everybody buddy.
Buddy.
Everybody was buddy. And the first time he did it to me, the first time I met him, I thought, oh, my God, I'm ingratiated with Coach Bowden. Then he called the next 16 guys who walked by buddy. And then I went, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
He's
That's
just
like
college
sometimes you get
basketball
that with a
world.
my guy.
Yeah.
What's up, my guy?
My
Hey,
guy.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then I'm like, if I'm your guy, that sounds singular. How could there be so many more of your guys?
multiple guys.
Yeah.
In the college basketball world, the Pump brothers, Dana and David, legend, they're identical twins. No one can tell them apart.
Yeah.
But they call everyone Coach because when they can't
Oh, I
remember
love
names,
Coach.
yeah, what up,
Coach,
Coach?
you love
Whatever you want, Coach. Because they deal with a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
That is their world. They just call everyone Coach.
I had a big coach phase
Yeah,
about
you
10
love
years
Coach.
ago where I was
Yeah.
really calling everybody coach.
Coach, yeah. I like a brother. What's up,
All of
brother?
those are
1 minute.
strong.
I love your brother.
All right, we got to run. This is
real-
everything I
real
wanted
quick, I
this
did
to be.
some-
Go ahead.
I did some digging for you, Nathan.
Thank
I
you.
reached out to a couple of people
Oh, yes,
in the
good.
Rams
Yeah.
building today.
Uh-huh.
He is Nate.
He is Nate.
Not Nathan.
Yeah, I'd seen Nate. Yeah, and then
he's
I've
Nate
noticed in our
Shields.
rundowns you've said Nathan because it was in there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
You
I'd only
could
heard Nate.
do-
Yeah.
You could do a college football Nate with Nate segment every week and maybe focus on the Big Ten, home
30.
champions.
College
Former
football-
Illinois quarterback and you college football Nate.
What's
That
better than
fits.
one Nate? Two Nates.
Two.
All right, buddy. Enjoy your sand dabs.
Yes.
We'll talk next week.
Yeah. By the way, your climate could not be more different than ours. By the way, and
It's
congratulations
overcast here.
on all your successes. Oh, it's overcast. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
Talk to you soon, buddy.
Hopefully it burns off.
Love you.
All right, there you go. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.